Hello, everyone. This is Tikva again from Homeopathy for Humanity, and we are going to resume our discussions on Organon. We are going to be discussing Aphorism 4, Aphorism 5, and Aphorism 6. Okay, go ahead, Sanjay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I am Sanjay Solanke from Central Maharashtra again, from same place, same man, and with the same book, Organon of Medicine. So today, uh, before begin this today's session, I would like to just recap something what we done in the last session. It was we saw what was the mission of physician in the first aphorism. Then we saw what is the ideal cure, highest ideal of cure. Then it begins from third, the qualities of physician, how the physician should be. He should have knowledge of disease, knowledge of drug, how to administer the drug, then knowledge of doses, then obstacles of cure, and the physician who knows everything. In aphorism 4, Hahnemann has mentioned, now he is talking about preserver of health. Still now he was talking about what are the qualities of physician. He should have knowledge of medicine, disease, to remove the disease. In first aphorism, he says to restore sick to health. Now in fourth, he talks about preserver of health. He is preserver of health if he knows the things that deranges the health and causes disease. What are things that deranges the health? This is not the knowledge of disease actually. He is basically now talking about he should know the things that deranges the health. Okay, basically we'll continue. Who can you mute everyone? Okay, hope you I am not muted.
No, you're not muted.
Okay. He is likewise preserver of health if he knows the things that deranges the health. Sorry, deranges the health and cause disease. Things that deranges. What are things that deranges health? Can you just put 2 or 3 on board? 3 things that deranges the health. Anyone? Take one.
Yes. Exciting cause?
Okay, exciting cause, but that is not the things that deranges the health.
Well, how to help people make lifestyle changes that are appropriate and keep them healthy.
Exactly.
For example,
Still now we have to remember we haven't talked about what type of disease. He is just now concerned about health and the disease state. Okay. So he is talking about anything that deranges health and causes disease. It can be anything what interferes your health state. It can be food, it can be your lifestyle, it can be your surrounding environment where you live, atmosphere, or anything else, Tiko?
Oh, yeah, there's a whole list. I have a whole list of different things that can be, that are important. You know, you need to talk to people about, appropriate diet. You need to talk to people about clean water, about fresh air, gentle exercise, fresh air, sunshine, hygiene, washing your hands, your positive attitude, avoiding poison, toxins, to use low poison cleaning products. It can go as far as, discussing pros and cons of various lifestyle changes and interventions. There's really a lot that goes into it. I call this like the more of a public health aphorism,
Exactly.
on a bigger level.
And now and then he should know all these things which deranges the health and cause disease. And then how to remove them from the person in health. How to remove them from a person. Means he should know the things that deranges health and cause disease. And he should know how to remove them to bring out the healthy state again.
Yeah, because
This
for
is what
example, if somebody only eats white flour and refined cooking oil, and that's their entire diet, we have to give them advice of what they should eat in order to help them stay healthy.
exactly.
But I would like to
This
do a
is
screen
what,
share, but I don't know how to do my screen share.
yeah.
Pop you back out. Try again from here. That right?
Yeah. How can I read these small, tiny bits?
Oh, because you're on your phone.
Mhm.
That is likewise a preserver of health. So I say the homeopath needs to know what makes people sick and how to help people make lifestyle changes to get well and stay well. We need to know what causes disease and how to remove those causes. Mosquitoes is a big one, right, guys? Standing water outside and around the home. Insect screens. Insect screens are such a big help, as are mosquito nets.
But we are seeing your computer. Nothing is visual.
Nothing is visual on my computer.
Mhm.
What do you mean? What do you see?
I see all the folders.
All you see is the folders? Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that Julia 2022, then Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Got it. Yep, Nisim was gonna watch Spider-Man, or he did. Yeah, so I don't know how to do my screen share. Okay, anyway. All pathogens, yep, pathogens, how to avoid pathogens. If somebody's sick, they need to wash their hands frequently. And if they have to sneeze, it's better they sneeze into a tissue or a handkerchief or into their elbow if they have to cough, instead of just spreading germs everywhere, right, guys?
Yeah. We must investigate what is to be cured in disease and know what is curative in various medicines. Means you have disease state. Means you should know where to aim the medicines and you should know what part of medicine is going on what part of the body. Means what is curative in medicine and what is curable in disease. When we have disease state, it is not like that all diseases are curable. There are incurable diseases. There are incurable situations. And medicine have its own affinity on the body, on the particular individual. So it will go on its level, means whatever substance you have, how much powder, how much quantity of medicine you are taking, that remedy is going to act on certain level of that patient's susceptibility and sensitivity. Right? So in order to apt the later, in order to apt the health, he should know everything what that deranges the health and bring causes disease, and he should know how to remove this disease also. It is not only medicine uh, that actually bring up the cure, but it is also some changes we need to make in lifestyle. We need to exercise, we need to have a good diet, we need to have, instead of better word is balanced diet. Balanced diet for every individual differs. So common thing or common values for each and every individual fails here. You cannot calculate life with an foot scale. So life value and measurement the body required differ from individual to individual. So this is only thing that could be we could say in this aphorism number 4. And then it is very important aphorism we are coming, and that is aphorism number 5. Is it working? Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. You should unmute yourself. Unmute your microphone.
I got it, Sanjay. I'm trying to figure out how to be able to pull up the thing and stuff. Yes.
Okay, we are done with this aphorism number 4. It is very small aphorism. Here he's talking about the physician as preserver of health. What knowledge should he have? He should know the things that dangers health and cause disease, and he should know how to remove those disease from individual and bring the health back. And likewise, we can comment a lot more on this aphorism, but I think it is best to have little bit short. Now we have very important aphorism and number 5. Very, very important.
Yep.
Yes, and
Aphorism 5 is very important. Who is our patient?
exactly. And why I put lot of weightage on this aphorism. It is a beginning of understanding chronic disease also. It is beginning to understand the individual. It is beginning to understand the healthy state and beginning to understand the disease state. So it have very important place. And one more important thing I would like to tell. If you don't understand what is disease, then it is quite impossible to bring cure in individual. If you don't know the way where to go, then you are lost, right? If you want to go travel to Tel Aviv, and if you are traveling to north from Malad, how to reach?
If I travel 11 kilometers north, I'm going to be in Lebanon, and Hezbollah is going to be there waiting for me, right?
You can reach Tel Aviv if you go round globe
No, I just
from
need to go
North Pole.
south. It's the safer choice for me to get on Highway 2, Highway 4, Highway 1, or the Sheish. That's the safe way to do it, because I can't get into Lebanon. Nobody from Israel is allowed into Lebanon. So we can't go there, even though I can see Lebanon from my house. It's part of the no-go zone.
Okay.
Anyway, that's beside the point of the
Okay.
aphorism.
It was a part of just understanding the only way the physician should know the ways. So in this aphorism, first in 4th we have seen the qualities the physician should know to preserve health. And here now, see what it writes. Useful to physician in assisting him to cure are particulars of useful to physician in assisting him to cure means to these things are assisting physician to cure are particular of most probable exciting causes of acute diseases. Very important to be noted. Exciting causes of acute diseases
Those
as also the
mosquitoes.
most significant point in the
Those
whole.
mosquitoes that we were trying to get rid of in aphorism 4.
Yeah.
Remember, we were trying to get rid of the mosquitoes in aphorism 4. The patient did not complete the task of removing the mosquitoes from around the home, and they got bitten. And that was the exciting cause, the mosquito bite. Now they have dengue.
Yeah.
There's the exciting cause.
if you look at this aphorism again, here it is the things which are assisting physician to bring out cure are the most probable exciting causes of acute diseases. He is not talking about exciting causes of chronic disease. He is talking about exciting causes of acute diseases. Now question arises, what are acute diseases?
That's a
And
super
what
important
are
question,
exciting
guys. Anybody want to play along and tell us what an acute disease is? It's a good one.
Okay, Tikwa, you should
Yeah,
tell what are acute diseases.
I should.
Okay.
Well, they're the kind that
Instead of-
attack individuals. I can do it. They can attack. Acute disease attacks individuals singularly or in groups, or there's some kind of injurious influence, meaning that there could be a toxin in the environment, or there could be pathogens in the environment, and an acute can attack a group of people. It could be sporadic, it can be individual. I think we have one of these, a short video on Aphorism 73. I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure we have one. But okay, so let's go to Aphorism 73. Excesses of food, insufficient food, chills, overheating, strains, physical irritation, mental emotions are all exciting causes that can cause acute febrile affections. And unless they are related to latent spora, they usually go away. And so this is where we get the category of epidemic diseases, contagious diseases, various fevers, and all the different kinds of epidemic diseases that we know about that have a fixed pattern. So there's the epidemics and sporadics and individual diseases. And then there's the epidemic diseases that have a fixed pattern. For example, chicken pox has a fixed pattern. And then it talks about the different things that make people more vulnerable to these exciting causes. For example, war, famine, and things like that make people more vulnerable, as do, disruptions in the emotional state. So, I mean, if somebody's like recently suffered from, loss of a friend or something like that, they're more susceptible. So this brings in susceptibility as well as, all the different influences that happen to people that if they are then exposed to something, they're more likely to get sick, because all day long, every day, there are various pathogens and substances and toxins in the environment that potentially could make us sick, but don't, because we're not susceptible at the current moment. So you have to have a perfect storm of susceptibility and exposure in order to get sick in the first place. So yes,
Yeah.
acute disease is something that comes on suddenly, runs its course, and either kills the patient or the patient recovers.
Exactly. In short, acute diseases are those diseases which infect the individual often They come suddenly, they run its course, they either cure or they end up with the life of the patient. And they will kill the patient. One thing. And now here is the patient, here Hahnemann talks about the particulars of most probable exciting causes of acute diseases. From what acute disease the person is being constantly being sick. This is very important. Why? Why he says that the most significant points in the whole history of chronic disease, the
Because then we can judge whether or not that there's a chronic miasm involved.
he says that exciting causes of acute disease as also the most significant point in the whole history of chronic disease, and where this information will help doctor or that physician to enable him to discover the fundamental cause. And what is fundamental cause? What is fundamental cause?
Is
Fundamental
miasm.
cause, miasm, right? To discover the fundamental cause, which is generally due to the chronic miasm. And what are the chronic miasm? Chronic miasms are two, venereal and non-venereal.
Yeah, so would you like me to read a little bit here about my easier English thing?
Yeah. Sure.
You want me to or not? Because even though I
No,
can't,
just let me divide that aphorism
okay,
into two halves first.
all right.
This is the first half, the useful to the physician in assisting him to cure are the particulars of most probable exciting causes of acute disease, as also the most significant point in the whole history of chronic disease, to enable him to discover its fundamental cause, which is generally due to the chronic miasm. This is the first half. Okay. And then in this investigation, the ascertainable physical constitution of the patient. He has given what are the important points he should focus on. Okay. Now, Tikwa, you can read that your easy thing.
Okay, so we need to know about our patients. It's important for us to find the exciting causes and the significant points, of course, in life. Number one, the physical nature. Physical nature of the person means whether or not they are thin or fat, or whether or not they have dark skin or light skin. These kinds of things can help sometimes factor into our prescription. Number two is intelligence, education, and morals. Three, his job. His job can be very important because let's say somebody's working around concrete all day. If they're big bricks and they have a cough, then we have, two different roads to travel here. And we need to know how somebody lives, because if their living conditions are insufficient, if they are suffering from cold or they're suffering from heat, or if they don't have access to clean water, or if they don't have adequate hygiene in the home, if they don't have toilets, if they don't have facilities for bathing, these things are very, very, very important. And there we're going back again to aphorism 4, aren't we? Number 5, what he likes to do and what his day is like. So we just want to know, how does somebody spend their day? Are they doing things that are healthy? Are they working too hard? There's a lot of different places that we can explore with each individual. Number 6, relationship with friends, the community, work, school. Maybe there are problems in that area. Number 7, how are his family members and his relationships with them? Which is also very important because there can be a lot of exciting causes in family dynamics and friendships and different things like that. And we, of course, need to know the age of the patient. So those are some of the things that we need to explore when we are just trying to find out who the patient is. Oh, I forgot something very important here. The sex life of the patient. We need to know various particulars about that. And then that'll also give us different information about whether or not we need to investigate whether there may or may not have been exposure to possible sexually transmitted miasm. So all this here, the relationships, what the person does, their age, their constitution, their job, their education, their physical nature, all this adds up into who is our patient. So we found out in number 4, we learned how to remove causes of disease. In number 5, we find out who our patient is, and what do we do at number 6? The changed state.
Okay, any questions till now?
No, sir.
Hi, Siva Kumaran.
Good evening, ma'am. Just now I came from clinic.
Yeah, I figured. We even ran late today. I had somebody late, and then my son, he messaged that he was sick, and so we just started late too. And Sanjay, you see his computer's not even working today. So yeah, it happens.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
So,
so word up, aphorism 6, and that is, it's not so much about the unprejudiced observer as people seem to think it is. It goes a lot deeper than that.
really very important to understand this unprejudiced. And if you look at the word, how intellect and intelligence of person works, and how he thinks, and how he collect information, how he gathers information, and how he interpreted things, and how he reason things. And everything will depend upon how his upbringing is, how and what is his own knowledge, in what environment or surrounding he is been living in, and
Yeah.
hence
The word unprejudiced
close the
means
box, close this box, and look at the facts. And what are the facts? What are the facts?
and there's some really interesting words that go into this aphorism. For example, unprejudiced. Unprejudiced means not having fixed ideas or opinions without evidence.
Yes.
And also uses the word observe, to watch, to notice, to see. And then we go to the futility of transcendental speculation. Pointless or useless, abstract, metaphysical, non-concrete information. So the futility of transcendental speculation is of major importance. I think it totally supersedes unprejudiced, because people are now so fixated into transcendental speculation. You know, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, instead of focusing on the facts. Nowadays, homeopaths have a lot of different methodologies where they are making speculation, or they're like fixating on a certain word that the person says during the interview in the clinic. And they'll like try to go deeper and deeper down a path. But none of that's necessarily concrete. And that word futility of transcendental. Transcendental is to go above, is to transcend, to go above the concrete. So you're up here, if you've got like the realm of symptoms here, and the patient's like saying and doing things, and you're kind of like hovering up above, you know, kind of looking for different things. We really just want to focus on the situation as it really is in a concrete way. And we can't speculate. So that's why Hahnemann says the futility, that it's pointless, of transcendental speculation. Speculation is once again thinking based on inconclusive evidence, or supposing, or guessing. So we need to be very, very concrete. The homeopath is only interested in facts.
Right.
And he takes note of nothing in every individual disease except the changes in the health of the body and of the mind. So we're looking at that changed state, factual changed state of the illness. Deviations from the former healthy state, concrete facts, signs and symptoms. You know, that's an interesting, even just using those words, Hahnemann says over and over and over again, signs and symptoms. What is a sign? You're going down the street, and you see a sign. What is a sign?
So
Like
elicited
a
by
jaundice
physical.
in the yellow color eyes.
It's something
We
that
can
gives us-
easily observe by eye.
Yes, yes. A sign is something that gives us information. It is objective phenomena. It is what we see. So if somebody has a limp, or their neck is askew, or if you see that they have redness on a certain area of the face, or if you see that they have chloasma, this is all something that is objective phenomena for us, something that we see. This is a sign. And a symptom is what?
Something that the person tells you.
Exactly. A symptom is something reported by the patient. And it is what kind of phenomena?
Subjective.
Exactly. So we have signs and symptoms. A sign is something we see that gives us information. It is objective phenomena. A symptom is something reported by the patient. This is subjective phenomena. So we can be absolutely certain of everything that we see, smell, feel, and hear. For example, if somebody has a hoarse voice or they're coughing, this is objective. We know that this is a fact. We can see it. If somebody smells terrible, we know that that's a fact. If somebody is giving off the smell of like ammonia, what does that tell us?
Ma'am, actually in medicine, Davidson, sign mentioned as a thing which elicited by physician from the patient is called sign. For example, McBurney sign. It's a diagnosis point of appendicitis. It's a pain between the umbilicus and the iliac crest in
Right.
the right iliac region. If any tenderness, if while palpation, while tapping, if there is a tenderness, it is called sign. It's a sign in according to medicine. Sign means symptom means which narrated by patient. Sign means the symptom which elicited by the physician from the patient.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That is true. Definitely. So
But
yeah,
you
there are
mentioned
various signs, like if you scrape somebody's bottom of their foot, if their toes don't flex, that tells us something about their neurological system. So yeah, there are all those different kinds of medical signs. You're right. But it's also something that gives us information.
but you
Simple.
mentioned all objective phenomena are sign. Is it?
Yeah, I think that mostly objective phenomena are signs because they're not things that just
Exactly.
occur to us.
They are things that been observed and studied by the physician.
Oh,
And
super, sir.
and symptoms are narrated by a patient person. One is symptom; those are given by patient. Signs are which are observed and seen by that physician.
Super.
And
Right?
remember, the perceptible signs represent the disease. Like it says in the aphorism, the perceptible signs, the things that we can perceive. What does it mean to perceive?
Receiving.
What does it mean to perceive? Something we see, something we hear, something we understand. So all the perceptible signs represent the disease in its full extent. And that is together, they form the true and only conceivable portrait of the disease. So Hahnemann says here that all these perceptible signs represent the disease in its full extent. That is, together, they form the true and only conceivable portrait of the disease.
Allergy.
And these concrete changes that are felt by the patient and that are observed by others are what we need to know. Right, guys?
Yeah.
So I think Sanjay is going to elaborate on that now. Oh, you got your computer working.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
great.
started now.
Good. So you
But
go
it
ahead and
is-
elaborate on that. We'll stop talking about changes, signs, symptoms, morbid phenomena, right?
I
I'll just
think,
sit back and relax.
Now, what you discussed today about fourth aphorism, he is likewise a preserver of wealth.
yeah.
I missed that part.
No, it's about qualities that everything, whatever earlier been mentioned was about sick, about and how to cure, about what is ideal cure and qualities of physician. And
Okay.
now in first time he is talking about uh, preserver of health. Means it is not only to cure but to understand health state,
How to
to
keep people
know
healthy.
things that derange the healthy state and cause the disease, and things that can bring out cure or remove this disease from a person. Means what is curable in disease and what is curative in medicine.
Yes, sir.
This is about fourth aphorism. Physician should
Yes, sir.
know what is curable in disease. Does that every disease is curable? Does every medicine is working on each and every individual and each and every symptom of the disease? The physician should know where to focus on particular individual in particular disease, and what part of medicine will be
Yeah, derangement of the vital force. Yes, thank you,
exactly.
Shalala.
So fourth aphorism is about that. Fifth aphorism is very important, which guide physician that knowledge. He should know that exciting causes of acute diseases are very important factors in understanding the chronic disease, which helps this physician to learn about fundamental causes. And what are fundamental causes? Fundamental causes are the causes of chronic disease, and those are usually chronic miasms. And what are chronic miasms?
Venereal and non-venereal.
Exactly. Venereal and non-venereal. Right. And to this is the first part of aphorism 5. Second part, he tells what information we need to learn to understand this upper part, first half of the aphorism. What is that information? Tikwa?
Just the things like the morals, the intellect, occupation, where and how somebody lives, sexual function, age, relationships. And I'll remind people again that when we are talking to females, we need to inquire about things like their menstruation, their childbirth, conception, breastfeeding, all those different kinds of things are important, particularly in the female. And we have another aphorism where that is explained in depth later on in the book in a footnote, but we have to always take into account the female symptoms when we are dealing with a female.
What they going to help explaining, getting symptom about breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding?
For our history collection.
Yeah, because some people, it can be clues for us if they've had problems producing milk. Whether or not, for example, I had a patient maybe 10 years ago that with her previous pregnancies and after childbirth, she'd had trouble having enough milk supply, even though she had seen a lactation consultant and gotten assistance. She still, her milk supply was insufficient. And so during that pregnancy, we worked on her overall health, and then she had better milk supply after having anti-sport treatment. So yeah, these things matter.
Okay. Inquiry about sexual function, what we're going to help except other than knowing about past history of if having a history of anamnesis about illegal contacts, if there may be venereal miasm or maybe something. Other than that, knowing about venereal miasm, is there any other way inquiring the sexual function will going to help us?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because lots of people suffer from inability to have a fulfilling sex life. And
Potency.
we can help them have a fulfilling sex life through homeopathic treatment. This is just very, very routine on my list of questions. Tell me about your sex life. Just like that, we're just going to be very factual about it. And, if people are having trouble, maybe they have a lack of interest. Maybe they're having some problems and worries. These are things that need to be talked about in the homeopathic consultation because we can help people with these issues. There's tons of varieties of, sexual problems that people encounter. Sometimes it's just a very long list. We just want to go there, touch on the subject. We're looking, of course, we want to see if there might be causes for venereal disease. But in general, people have problems with their sex lives, and they have issues and we can help them. So we need to talk about it. The first step of getting better is to address the problem.
For example, if some in Christian community or in even in Hindu community also, here people's become for the spiritual purpose, they renouncing the life and becoming a nun or becoming celibacy monk like that. Sometimes back I got a case that a nun came to me with dysmenorrhea and all the things at the age of 40-45. What way it will but she suffered because she doesn't have marriage and all the things. She used to weep. Unknowingly, some teachers guided me to go and become a nun, work for God. That is the purpose of life, like that. But at the time I went against my parents. Now I realized, like that. She said, "What way we going to help in this case in a homeopathic way? Can you explain?"
Well, yeah,
Hello?
it's their
Yes.
choice. And so that in itself can be a problem that they were pressured. And so when we see the parents and, clearly then you also have, somebody who is denying their normal sexual function. And that can cause a variety of problems. Hahnemann says in a different aphorism that a lot of neuroses can be avoided with having appropriate sexual relationships on a regular, normal basis. That sex is very important to our vitality and our wellness. And, he's a huge proponent of people having regular, sexual contact with a partner. So, we have to just take these things into an account, so that, there's going to be frustration on some level or something not functioning properly with that kind of like monkhood kind of thing. And, maybe it's you're just going to have to explore it. There's nothing we can do to solve it.
This reminds me one thing. Hello?
I'm here.
Listening.
Yeah, I want to show you something we have studied, Tikwa. Probably I need to find what page number. 22.
Yeah, like, sometimes you'll have women who come into the clinic, and if you ask them if their sex life is a problem for them, they'll say, yeah, it is. And, and if you need to, you can always refer out to a female homeopath or, and send to a gynecologist to see if there's anything that's actually functionally wrong. There's some things that just need to be addressed. Because sometimes women suffer with things that they don't really need to suffer from. And it's really sad. And men do too. Men suffer from all kinds of performance anxieties, inability to maintain erections, because let's say you've got the slippery slope of allopathy. You have a man whose blood pressure is a little bit high. He goes to the allopath. He gets some drugs for that. And then he's having erection problems. And so then that shows you where a cause needs to be removed so that we could safely bring down the blood pressure and then help wean somebody off of blood pressure medication that is inhibiting normal sexual function. There's just a lot of different things to look at in case taking, a lot of different intricate things.
One more thing I would like to show you. Just a part. It's not part of this point. Look at this. Can you read this, Tikwa?
Can you read it, Sanjay?
No, you can read much better than I do.
Yeah, but it's really small on the screen for me.
Who can read?
Yes, Wisman points out Lakach's primary conflict is between his lower instincts and his higher ego. The strong animal urges seek expression, but the individual constantly suppresses them for the sake of civilized behavior and or spiritual growth. Deprived of natural outlets, the emotions then take their toll on the individual's physical and mental health, where logos, that is mind, opposes bio, that means biology, I think, urges, encounters the pathology of the serpent, Lapithis, is the unintegrated life impulse, the unintegrated libido, concludes Whitmont. Is it correct, sir? What's the pronunciation for
Whitmont. And
Yeah.
he has explained the case below. Please read that case. Very important case.
A pleasant, mild-mannered, aged man was being treated for long-lasting severe headaches with nausea and vomiting. The general symptoms pointed to several remedies, but it was difficult to get a clear picture of the headaches. So
Mhm.
next say, yeah, the clear picture of the headaches themselves because of continuing suppression over the years with allopathic analgesics. To help decide on the simillimum, the patient was asked to talk about himself. He displayed a measured, sensitive attitude toward his family and work, which offered no guiding symptoms. Nothing about him was in the least strange, rare, or peculiar. He was then asked how he felt about himself, if he was achieving what he wanted in life and felt fulfilled. At this point, the laches surfaced and he related how he was trying to grapple with the intrusive sensual side.
This is very important paragraph. What he tells the doctor, where answers the physician how he felt, want in life and felt fulfilled. This is his answer. Read that answer.
My outward life is not me. My inner life, what I think and I feel, does not want to be me. I practice my religion, but I don't know that I really believe in it. Oh, or in what, for that matter. I do believe. I live in a state of constant psychological turmoil, wrestling with sensual urges. I both want and don't want to indulge. In fact, he concluded, I don't know which of my two selves is really me, the proper one I live or the lascivious one I repress. Oh my God. Reminiscence of Oscar Wilde's aphorism. What it, sir? Oscar Wilde's aphorism.
Oh,
One's
Yeah,
real life.
Oscar
Oscar
Wilde.
Wilde was a early 20th century writer and poet.
Oh, one's real life is often the life one does
It
not
does
lead.
not lead.
Oh, it's a what's the book, sir? Bailey Love?
No, it's Catherine.
Oh,
Catherine Coulter's
Yeah, and
homeopathic
then
drug picture.
we can bring this back to Hahnemann because Hahnemann says that a lot of neuroses, what are neuroses? Emotional disturbances, emotional problems that become physical problems. A whole lot of these can be alleviated by people having a frequent, regular, normal, healthy sex life.
yes, ma'am. Hanuman also mentioned in chronic disease.
Yes.
I reminded the case Shivakumaran has just told about that nun, and that
Mhm.
remind me the words of Whitman,
Mhm.
how been expressed in
Isn't that from Psyche
Catherine.
and Substance? Because Whitmont
Yeah,
is Psyche and Substance.
yeah. Whitman's in Psyche and Substance.
So it's
Same
Young
from
Ginsberg.
where? From that book, Catherine had quoted this sentence.
Yeah, so Whitmont, there's another Whitmont in homeopathy. This Whitmont
Edwards,
is
Edward.
Edward Whitmont,
Yeah.
is a Jungian psychologist. You know, Carl Jung.
Carl Jung.
Yeah, so Carl, a Jungian psychologist. And he takes Jungian psychology and adds a little bit of homeopathy and talks about,
Yeah.
people's inner reasons for doing things.
Yeah.
There is a one sentence, sir. Live the life, love the life you live. It may be the remedy, I think, after reading this. Live the life you live and love the life you live. Huh?
Mhm. Yeah, and so, he talks about Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was famous for being kind of like, for being a very kind of flamboyant homosexual. And that was not socially approved of in any way, shape, or form during his lifetime.
Mhm.
And we know lachesis is one of the remedies that has been clinically used in a lot of people that are struggling with homosexuality.
Oscar
Yeah,
Wilde
very.
follows Feynman, ma'am.
No, Oscar Wilde was just a poet. They're just connecting different things from culture, and it's just the way this book is written. We're deviating a little bit from aphorism 5 of why we need to talk to our patient about their sex lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gone on a tangent here. Yes, we talk about people's sex lives. We want to know if there are any problems there.
And we have almost finished this fifth also and sixth. We have seen how easy and how difficult it is to be and unprejudiced of. It's really difficult. It's just what you say, close the box. Close the box and look at the facts. And what are the facts? He tells the facts there is a healthy state and then there is a disease state. Now here Hanuman tells about look at the change symptom, altered symptom. Look at the change state. It is not each and every symptom narrated by the patient we should look at, but we need to see what was the healthy state and then what are the changes. These only change things are important, and these change things should be noted as it is, as they are, without interpreting, without making I don't know how to explain these things. Means just don't use your brain. If it is red, see red. If it is yellow, don't try to explain these things. And don't try to understand things with the knowledge you have gained medically or with the knowledge um, you have studied culturally or any other things you have learned from life. But just look at the fact what the patient was trying to tell or trying to, and only those facts which has been changed are important things. But being unprejudiced and don't have to use our own brain is quite difficult. Means, Shiva, can you explain these things?
Well, I
I
mean,
can understand, but it's difficult me to explain in English.
can you explain it in Hindi?
Then Shivkumar might not understand.
Yes, sir. I don't know Hindi.
He know
Well, I
Tamil
mean,
and he know English.
Tikwa ma'am know Hindi.
no, but a few words, that's all. But I can pick up a lot of different things by just like actions, gestures, movements, tone of voice. These things are all important. You know what I mean? Anyway, it doesn't matter whether or not I understand what he's going to say about being unprejudiced. Being unprejudiced is not having a fixed idea. We don't want to have a fixed idea. We never want to have somebody come and sit down at the desk beside us or over our computer, whether or not we happen to be practicing, seeing somebody halfway across the world, which some of us do on a regular basis. E-medicine and seeing people over the internet is very prevalent in the Western world. And it's an unfortunate reality of life these days. And it's kind of hard because you don't get to like understand how people smell. You can't touch them physically. If they say that they have a sore knee, they have to like adjust their person so that they can have their camera. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to see patients in person, in my opinion. But anyway, so having a fixed idea, if somebody comes in and you say, that looks like that person needs sulfur, that's having a prejudiced idea. What we need to do is we need to find out what their symptoms are, analyze their symptoms, and see if they actually need sulfur. Because first impressions can be deceiving. Could be that sometimes if we just like get an idea of what kind of remedy somebody might need, sometimes it's something that's similar but not the same. So we really have to go to the due diligence of finding the actual symptoms the person has and matching it with the proving data to do our work properly. Even though we will see somebody and say, that person looks like they need lycopodium. They might not need lycopodium today. They might need lycopodium next year or not at all. So we can't have fixed ideas. We have to maintain a clear and open perspective and note the things that we see and listen to what they have to say, and then find the person in the proving data. And the way I go about that is I'll do a case taking, depending on if it's an acute or a chronic. That will depend a lot about what kind of details we go into. The change state, lots of, when people are acutely sick, is very clearly delineated. There's a beginning and there's the state that they're in now, and they remember it very clearly. With a chronic, they might not know when the changes happened. So that's, kind of going into another little bit of a tangent, but to remain with an open mind, don't take into account, this person is this person is that, and then just sort your ideas and just go ahead and give medicine. You really need to listen, observe, and analyze without having a fixed idea, but only use the concrete information that we see and hear. Was that sufficient, Sanjay? Would you like to say that in Hindi now?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, we have finished this one.
Oh, you could say it in Hindi real quick for people.
No use to talk in Hindi on this part. Really, seriously.
But seriously, a lot of people in India watch these videos.
We thoda
Yeah.
thoda malum.
Okay, so
Okay.
that was a nice rundown of aphorism 4, aphorism 5, and aphorism 6.
Exactly. Any questions?
Is it worthy to read Oscar Wilde's aphorism?
It's
No.
not anything, it's nothing, it's nothing. Just ignore it. What it means, it means it's a statement made by Oscar Wilde in one of his writings. It's not important. Not important. There are no aphorisms of Oscar Wilde. It's just some of his poetry. It's really nothing. Aphorism just means a saying.
But the
Nothing
hypocrites of
important.
worthy, ma'am. No?
I didn't quite hear you.
Because Boning Hussein has talk on hypocrite, comment on that aphorism. We look
Oh,
in.
yeah. Bodihausen's aphorisms of Hippocrates with glosses by a homeopathist. That's fun. That is a lot of fun. That's why I post them from time to time. Only some of them have been translated into English, though. And they come from Julian Winston. Julian Winston has that material. Those have not really been put out in English, but some of it was translated, and Julian Winston had that in his library. Anyway, so those are fun, and those are, they're very interesting. But an aphorism literally means a saying.
Yeah. So we have people here over here. Any questions? Dr. Sandhya?
Hello.
Shahala had to leave already.
Sir, I will read
Hello?
and next session I will try to understand and then I will ask because little bit
Okay. Dr. Deepika? Any questions?
No, sir, I understood.
Good. I think these two of them have attended last 2-3 sessions continuously.
Which is very good. And that gives us a will to do more.
Yeah. Okay, we will stop here. And next we will continue with 7, 8 and will that do 7, 8 and 9 in one session? What do you say? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, you can see that if it is doable in one session, 2 aphorism or 3 aphorism, whatever.
I can do it. That's no problem. It just depends on how many questions and how much talking there is to do about it. This is nothing compared to the 10-year program of Materia Medica Pura.
Yeah.
This is easy. Yeah, so I think that we should probably realistically be able to do aphorisms 7, 8, and 9 next week. I mean,
Okay,
especially
good.
since 8 is very, very small, but it has a giant footnote. And we really do need to make sure that I can do the screen share. So we're gonna have to work on that. I don't know what went wrong today. I had the PDF already and everything. I don't know. These things are mysterious. But I personally think that it's helpful for people to be able to read it along with.
You need to able to open that file on your computer. Then you can share that file.
I did that. It didn't work. We don't know what goes wrong sometimes. Anyway, remember last week I did it just fine. It worked last week.
Okay.
It worked last week. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's open. It's in my folder. It's named. It was opened. Don't know. Anyway, so we should be able to do that next week. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Join
sir.
us
Thank you, ma'am.
next time.
Nice session. Thank you for the nice session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Stop recording.